My name is Nate Gemelke. I'm one of the co-founders of QuEra and the Chief Technology Strategist. Okay, so, quantum computing really is a disruptive technology, potentially. We focus on disruptions that are negative, particularly when we have a lot to lose. So the largest organizations on Earth, which tend to be governments, large corporations, really do need to think about the impact of useful quantum computing on the world. One that people often bring up is its impact on cryptography, or the assumptions that we've made in the past about hash functions and about the computational complexity of the world's best machines on certain tasks. Do those suddenly change? Of course, we should focus on those things. Of course, we should prepare for those. To be honest with you, I'm not really worried that there's a day that we wake up and the world has fallen apart because suddenly we've learned that quantum computers are capable of breaking encryption. I'm more worried about the fear of that getting in the way of developing solutions to problems that we've never had before. If we can design new drug candidates efficiently and identify cures to diseases, we may be able to solve problems that really have a huge negative impact on the world. And that's the kind of disruption that we want to engineer. I don't want the fear and maybe the misplaced fear of the negative kinds of disruption to get in the way of developing those types of things. Also, it's important to recognize that whenever there is a broad-scale disruption, there's also a lot of economic opportunity generated by that. Regional governments really should try to understand what that impact is going to be. Remember that when you're making investments in economic impact, they oftentimes have very long time horizons to benefit. If you're scaling up a workforce development program and it involves a new PhD program, your timeline to impact on that is at a minimum 4 years. We're now to the point where that timeline compares pretty closely and favorably with what most people's expectations are for quantum utility. And so it is really important to be thinking about what is the economic impact of this going to be? How can I maximize the benefit for the people that I represent or that I support? And how do I give them the skills to work in that world that has this new technology in it, and what's their place in that? We also probably focus a little bit too much on the top tier universities and R1 PhD programs that support the research and development around that. Remember that once you get to enterprise value, there is a real operational impact to that, and the boots on the ground have to increase, and the range of people and backgrounds that will contribute to something like that will broaden, but they do have to have the necessary skills when it comes in. So it's important to invest in those things. It's hard to understand quantum computing. I think everybody believes that that's true. Understanding how to arrange programmatic attacks to solving things like workforce development challenges, to thinking about what the disruptive opportunities and also dangers are of the technology requires interfacing with experts. It also requires oftentimes going on offense. What I mean by that is if you know how to use a quantum computer, you've gained the experience of using one, you can understand what those potential disadvantages are in the future. You can also understand what the upsides are. You can design programs that multiply your numbers, create more people that have the same understanding as you. But to really do that, you have to engage pretty closely and deeply with the people that are pushing the technology forward. And so, there's a benefit to QuEra to that as well. Like I said, we want to have a positive and immediately positive impact on the world at large. Part of that is making sure that along the way we are educating the people who are making decisions in an effective way, in a proactive way, in an intimate way, in the sense that we're exchanging technologies with them. We are at times collaborating on the solutions and the development of a toolkit around an entire vertical stack of quantum computing that hopefully is disrupting the world in that seriously positive way.